Hello, welcome along, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and welcome back, or welcome to you if you are new. Please hit that subscribe and hit the notifications bell, and you will be notified of any videos I put out. And this is now part 4 of this Magic Factory Honda Fireblade in 1 night scale, and as you can see, we're getting on really well. We've only had to use glue on 2 bits. There was one, where was it on? There was one part on here on the engine, and this brake pedal and cylinder assembly had to be glued on as well. But other than that, it's gone together, as they say, just snapping together and going together lovely it is. So, coming into the manual now, we're on step 19. So this is going to concentrate on the radiator assembly, which you can see here. So I've got all the parts off. So we've got the radiator, we've got the fan, there's these 2 inlets here. I've left these on the sprue. This is a little tip for the newer modelers out there. If you've got 2 parts that look very similar and you can't really see in the instructions which is which, if you cut the sprue off, you've still got the numbers on it so you can see which is which. We've got 2 bits of vinyl hose have been cut out, and then we've got this water filler on the radiator, and there's a decal to go on there, decal 17, so that's on. Little hazard warning for that one. We've got the mounts, or the end cap should I say. So yeah, let's get on with it. So we'll put the bike to one side and we'll just assemble this radiator as per the instructions. So we've got this main lower section is going to go on here like so. So that clips on there, and then we've got these side pieces, these end caps. So the radiator is that way round in the drawing, and these end caps are that way round. So this one, that's that one, right, so they're going to go onto those caps there, onto those pegs there should I say, and then this one is going to go, sorry, what am I doing, like that, that's right. Okay, so that's our radiator end caps on, and then this is going to go onto the bike that way, so these holes have to be this way for the hoses to go into, and various bits and pieces. So now we're going to fit the radiator, the fan. So we've got the small fan here. So this is the small one, and this is going to go into there. Right, okay, so it's going to go it's telling me, very strange, we don't have a pin on that one. It's not that I've cut it off, it was never there. You can see we got shiny plastic there, so there was never a pin on there. So these 2 are going to go in here, and that's just going to go, they've obviously forgot to drill a hole in the tool. So there's no pin on that top one, but it doesn't matter because the other 2 are so firm. And then this one here is going to go, again we don't have a pin on that top one, so it's just going to be these 2 sides. So that just clips in, that's that done. And then we've got the radiator filler going in there like that, and then we've got this little piece here has 2, you can see it's got two pins that are coming out straight and 2 that are like on an elbow. So the 2 that have the elbow, we're going to put our 24mm hose to the bottom one like so, and the 41mm hose will go to the top one like so. Okay, so that's those on, and then this is going to clip onto the front of the radiator just like that. Just like the tyres, these hoses seem to pick up anything, the slightest bit of dust or fluff or anything seems to pick it up and stick to it. Okay, so now we're going to, well, that rocks around a little bit, but not to worry. So now we've got these 2 elbows on the bottom. Now I'm going to fit these now before we fit them to the bike. So this, I'm going to take number 2 off first. So number 2 is going to go on the left hand side, or as you're looking at it now, the right hand side. So number 2 will go in there like that. Okay, and then number 3 will go in the other side like so. And they are free to turn, so you can adjust them for the and they're not really staying in there very well either. So I think we might have to use, in fact I don't really want to glue them yet because I don't know what position they're going to be in radially. And then we've got this piece here that's going to go on the bottom of the radiator, so that's like a steady. So we've now got the bike here, so we're showing, looks like we're showing that hose coming up and out of there. So we can just fit this, yeah, that piece keeps falling out at number 2. So we've got these, so it's showing here that okay, so these top mounts here, 1, 2, are going to go on those mounts there on the frame. Got these 2 hoses here and these 2 hoses here, so we've got to get it all together. So I'm going to put these 2 top mounts in like so, and that holds the radiator in place for us, and then it's fitting together absolutely beautifully. That hose there just needs a tiny little tweak. Be careful where you're holding things because we're starting to get a bit fragile now with all these sticky out bits. So that's gone in there like that. This bottom piece here, that E3, just needs to be tipped up, and then that hose will go into that one. And then on the other side we're going to get that hose to go into there like that. And then we've got this little E2 which will go into the radiator. Oh, go in, go on. Oh, come on. That's going to go in, come on, that's going to go into that hole there. And then we'll hold that in, and this pipe is going to go into the back of it, like so. There we go. Right. So that's all gone together. Does anything here need gluing? I'm not sure. I don't think it does really. And then here we've got this little steady piece. So that's going to go. Okay, so that end's going to go up into there. So this end with the pin is going to go into the bottom of the sump there, like so, and then that end's going into there like that. Okay, so that's all lovely. It is all very loose. Nothing is a very tight fit, so I think we're going to need a bit of glue going down the road. We'll see if anything falls apart. If it doesn't fall apart, it can stay unglued, but if it does fall apart, then we will glue it. Okay, so there we go. So we are done for step 19. Okay, so that's step 19 done, and it's showing us here how these hoses have to go. So that hose is going to go up there, and that hose is going to come down there. I really don't see the point in the showing us these drawings, showing us where these hoses go, because basically, I mean, that's not going to stay there in a month of Sundays. So, and that one that they're saying has got to go behind that other one. So there we are. Right, this foot pegs are going to get broken off. Moving on to step 20, we have the instrument panel, and again I've previously fitted the decal on here. I think they've made a mistake here because they're telling us that decal's still not stuck down properly. They're telling us to put the decal on top of the clear part. I would have thought the decal was designed to go behind it, but never mind. So we've got this shroud going over the top, and that should help to hold the decal down or protect it, whatever. No, it doesn't, because the decal comes right through. So I'm going to grab a cotton bud, just push it down like that. We've got another decal. If we do mess this up, we've got another one to go on there with it powered up. So there we go. So that's your display. I don't quite see the point in having a clear part for it, but hey ho. And then this is going to go behind like that. So it all squeezes together like so. Okay. Now then, this is now going to fit onto the front of the frame there like that. It's pushing the frame apart actually. There we go, so that's gone on there. So there's our display, and then here we're going to fit the steering damper. So that's going that way round. So it's got this little raised lump here. You can see that's going to the left of the bike. So that's going to go up under there, and that is a very loose fit, but you can't glue it because it needs to move. And then we've got this shock absorber part, or the shock absorber part of the damper. It's going in there like that. So there we are. Okay. So that's our main frame done. So now we're going to start looking at the front wheel assembly. So we have the wheel, the valve, that part there, E1, I fitted that because it's a nightmare to do on camera. As soon as you turn the camera off, it goes in lovely. So that's been fitted already. Now with the valve facing that way, the tread goes that way. So we're going to fit the tyre over the wheel, just like so. I've gone too far there. So that will go like that. There we are. Okay, so that's that done. And then we've got our disc brakes, G26 and G27. I should imagine they are identical, because I don't know which is which, because they're in that box. If you remember, they're in the tray. They're not in their on their sprue, because they're pre-painted. So that's going into those 5 holes on there. No, it's not. I haven't lined it up at all. So I'm going to get one of those lined up on there, and then this is not going well. Doesn't seem to want to go in there at all. And maybe that's the difference. Maybe they've got different size pins on them or something. The holes certainly appear bigger in this one. I'm not. Oh, you can hear it now. It's the paint that's causing it. It's the paint that's blocked the holes up, made them smaller. There we go. So once you get it lined up, it does go in. Let's try the same on this side. I think we may have to drill these out. We shall see. Yeah, it does go. Right. So again, pushing from the centre, not on the outside edge, because you'll just snap the disc. And we can roll that and check they're even. Here, they're still clipping in. Right, that's that. Okay, great big brakes, aren't they? Huge. Okay, so now we come to step 22, and we've got our fork legs here, E28 and E25, and then you've got this part here which isn't numbered at all, but that's in your pre-painted bit. So that's going to go that way. These little bits here, H1, I've pre-fitted them because I thought they might be swines to get in, but they weren't. So what we're going to do here is put the fork leg up through there, and then we've got a pin. We've got a pin there and a pin there, and they're going to go into holes in the front mudguard, the front fender, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to go into that one. That's going to go into that one. Very tight fit. Obviously, it's the paint. And they've used this gloss paint and lacquer that's sort of blocked up the holes. Okay, so that one's going to go in there, and then that one's going to go in that side, just like so. Just like that. There we go. Okay, and then we need to get a screw C. Where's my bag of screws? Here we go. Screw C is that one there, I think. Yes, we've got two of those because remember one of them is for the headstock, but we don't use it, replace it with an H. That's the addendum in the instructions. So, does that tread the right way? I think they're showing you the tread the wrong way there. Because when you look at the rear tyre, the tread is pointing forwards. I think it should go that way. So screw C is going to go through this side. Into the wheel. There we go, and we'll grab our little screwdriver wherever it's gone. I'll have to use a different one. Hang on, get my little Tamiya one. Here it is. Get that lined up in the fork leg on the other side. And then we'll tighten it up. Put it all together, wheel solid, and then we could just undo. Looks like the disc is fouling on the fork leg. Not to worry, we don't want to play with it, we just want to display it, don't we? Maybe it needs to go in a bit more. I don't think it will though. Oh well, the disc is fouling on the fork leg, so if that bothers you, perhaps put a little washer in there or something to space it out. I'm sure the disc won't go down anymore. Let's get my little piece of wood. No, it's not going to go on anymore. So yeah, the disc is actually fouling on the fork leg, which is unfortunate. Okay, so there we go. So that's that. And now we've got those dafty reflectors to go on the side. I'm not going to fit those. Okay, I'm not fitting those at all. And then we've got here, we're going to make up some brake calipers. So let me get the parts out for here. I'm also going to get all this out, and then we can build up our front forks. So I've built one caliper up because obviously these parts look very similar. I didn't want to get them mixed up. So M2 and M8 are here. So these are going to go together like that. I've got pins and holes. They all fit together easily. And then we've got the brake pipe going on the outside. We've got a D-shaped pin and a D-shaped hole. And that is going to go on like that. Oops, not correctly aligned. There we go, that's gone in there. That's a nice snug fit. So we've now got to fit the calipers to the forks. So this one here is going to go to this side. So we've got two pins there, two holes there. It's going to go over the disc. So the caliper is going over the disc and then pressing. It's easier said than done. Get those lined up and push them in. There we go. There we are. And then said and done this is, I tell you, because you can't get a purchase on them because the wheel's in the way. They just want to tip over inwards. Let's get a pair of tweezers behind them. That'll force them to straighten up. There we go. Oh, that one's tight. Let's give that a little extra shove. There we go. Yeah, so the wheel hardly turns at all now, but as I say, we haven't built it to play with it, we built it to display it. So there's our calipers on. Okay, so it's all looking quite good. And then moving down, we have metal parts. So where are my metal parts? They're in the bottom of the box here somewhere. I'm sorry, I should have got them out, shouldn't I? Where are they? Okay, so we've got metal parts and we've got springs. So get those metal parts out of the resealable bag. We get our springs out of the resealable bag as well. This screwdriver is slightly magnetic. I've got a screw stuck in that one, so we get that screw back in the bag. There we go. Right, so we've got the metal tubes here. And we've got a fork leg here. So the spring is going up inside there, and then that's going up inside there, and then that is going to slide down over that. Okay, like so. And then, so basically we've got spring going in there, tube going in there, and then over the plastic fork leg. Push it down so it's nice and snug at the bottom. There we go. So there's our metal fork legs in place. All looking snazzy. Okay. Now we need some parts to fit the headstock. So I'll get these off and then we'll do this section here. So we've got these parts off here. These hoses, 3 hoses, all 90mm long, I've fitted those. So you can see they're on like that onto the brake pipes. And then, so we've got, here we have F2. So this is going to go on the back of the fork leg. Now, I'm just looking at how this goes together, and these slots need to be facing fore and aft. So that's going to go on like that. We've got a little raised area in the centre that's going to sit in the slot. Okay, so that clips onto there nice and firmly like that. And then this one is going to go with the lump to that side. That just clips together like that. Hopefully that will hold. And then we've got the horn here. L3 is the horn. That's going underneath like that. Okay, so there's our yokes together. Oh, we've got screws to hold it together. Okay, I was thinking that front felt a little bit loose, but we've actually got screws. So one in that side, and then we'll put one in that side. If you have built a Tamiya kit, you've got one of these Tamiya screwdrivers. They come with a lot of the Tamiya RC kits and stuff. I think it's actually a better screwdriver than the Magic Factory one. The Magic Factory was absolutely fine, but the end is slightly larger than this, and it slipped on a couple of screws and slightly damaged them. So there we go. There's our fork legs together. So we've got our working suspension. That's cool. So going over the page, we're probably now going to fit the forks to the frame. Oh no, we're going to build the headstock. So we've got a load more parts to get off here. So we're going to get all this together, and then we're going to put it all together like so, and you can see how it all goes together. Right, see you in a minute. All right, got all those parts off, so let's get some building going. Okay, so left-hand hand grip. We've got this this cover going on. So that is going to go that way around. It'll only go on one way actually. So you've got a big hole where it goes around the hand grip, and then the other side there's a smaller hole where it's going to push on to the end of the clip on. It's not really a handlebar. Okay, so that's that one done, and then this side we'll do the same for the right. So again we've got a big hole and a small hole. So that will go together like so. Okay, now the headstock assembly, that's going that way round. So we've got this piece here, L7, is going to push over that tab in the middle. This is our slave cylinder. It's not the slave cylinder, is it? It's the reservoir. And then we've got these two pieces going on the front here, whatever they are, I do not know. So that one's going to push into there. Probably easier to do this before we fit the reservoir. Blimey, that is a tight fit going in there. Try and push it in with some tweezers from underneath. Got it. Wow, they're a snug fit, they are. Okay, well that one was. And so is that one. Just finally get the back of the tweezers with the flat, give them a good old push, get them home, there we go. And then we can fit that reservoir back on there like that. Okay. And then we fit these pieces here. So this is 16. So that's going to go up into there. We've got a pin, and then it's going to fit up into there like that. And then this side is going to go in like that. Okay, and then we're going to put our grips on. So, no we're not. We're going to put this onto here first. Duh. You need your brake lever, Nige. And then, dear. That is going to push onto there. And that is a very, very snug fit. Cool. So we're going to fit our brake lever, clutch lever, sorry. So there's our handlebars or clip-ons done. So now we need the H screw. Remember, don't use the hang on a minute, no, I'm wrong here. They're telling us to put a screw in there. Is that for the, that's for the, yeah, okay, there it is there. It's not very clear, this manual, be very careful. Say to put a screw in there, but what you can't see is there, you've got the end of the steering damper. So what we're going to do is grab a screw H, because going over the page, we've got this screw C, and it's not, it's H we're going to use. So I'm going to grab a C screw and H screw. Better using the tweezers, I think. So there's the C screw and there's the H screw. Okay. So we are going to get that screw loaded onto our screwdriver. Hopefully it will stay there. And then we can slide this up through here. Okay, and then before we do anything, we'll get this screw in, because once we get the top yoke on, we won't be able to get to this. So we get that screw in there for the steering damper. Okay, and then, sorry, that was a D screw, not a C screw. I thought that felt a bit like it was not enough thread going in. So we will put this one back in the bag, like so, and we will get out a D screw, which is, oh, it is a D screw. Okay, doesn't seem long enough, never mind. I was thinking the C screw was the short ones. Oh, don't play awkward now, I've had it in once. Bloody thing. Right. Okay, so that's sitting in there like that, so our steering damper connected up. Then we've lost our radiator filler. So that's going into there. Oh dear, 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 it's falling apart. I would thoroughly recommend gluing this. So the reason I'm not gluing it is because I'm trying to show you how it goes together as intended out of the box. If I was doing it again, I would be painting lots, I would be getting rid of seams, I would be filling gaps, I'd be doing all sorts, as most of you well know. Okay, so now this little lot is going to slide over the top of those fork legs, like so. And then this H screw is going to go down the middle, and that is going to screw into I'm going to leave it with a bit of friction there. Okay, so that's gone like that, and then we've got parts here. Sorry, we're over the page now, aren't we? We've got these two parts here. We've got two G4s. We've got two G4s, a D59, a G25, and a D59 all going together, and we've got some vinyl hoses. So let me get all that, and then we'll get that done. Right, so we've got these little parts. Bearing in mind, guys, when you take these off the sprue, the little sprue gates go onto the back face. It's going to affect how it all fits together, so be a little bit careful. So we are going to fit two G4s into the top of the legs. They're a nice snug fit. Okay, I'm going to hold the forks because I don't want to break the headstock. There we go. And then we've got two D59s are going to go into the top of them. So, and these are going to go, it looks like this one has its hose nipple facing sort of to the right. Probably better to fit these before you fit them to the bike. Fit these to the G4s before you fit them. So that's going to go that way around by the look of it. That's going in there. And then this one is going to face straight forward by the look of it. So we'll just get it to start. And we can turn it to the right angle. Like that. That can go there. Now then. So that one's going to turn slightly to the left because those hoses are going to these little remote reservoirs or whatever they are there. Okay, so now we've got these hoses. I've got this G25 is going in the centre. Quite why they've made a D-shaped hole, a D-shaped slot for a nut, I do not know. So you've got a little flat on the nut. And that will go in like that. Okay, and then we've got a 9mm hose, which is going to push on there like so. And we've got the other end going on to there, like so. And then the same with this one end onto there, and then bring that over and put the other end onto there. There we go. And then we've got a 12mm hose, which again, it's as clear as mud. But is that going to the bottom of that reservoir? Guessing that's where it would go. So pick it up closer to the end, bottom of the reservoir over that pin, and then around and onto the actual master cylinder. There we go. I'm surprised they haven't told us at this point to put a hose in for the front brake. Strange. Okay, so I think that's how it goes, but again, it's as clear as mud. I think it's showing us that nipple on there. Here. And it seems logical that that's the way it would be, reservoir to cylinder. So there we go. Right, let me get some more stuff done. I just want to talk momentarily as well about something I've noticed about this model. As you know, we've got this chain which is one piece moulded plastic, and as I say, there's going to be people that won't be happy about that and they'll want a proper chain. Okay. On this sprue here, you can see we've got sprockets. So at some point there is going to be, or there was going to be, or whatever, a kit with a chain. Alright, it's either going to be a vinyl affair or something. I also noticed on the, where's it gone? On the L sprue, we have these, and these are the centre for discs. So I'm wondering if there's going to be an upgrade set for coming out for this with like metal disc brakes and metal workable chain, whatever. I think it's probably on the horizon, because otherwise why would they give us those parts? So there we go. Right, I'm going to have a break for 10 minutes and then I'll come back and we'll get on with doing that. Just quickly guys, something I've done here, I've gone out of sequence a bit. I've gone forward to step, which one is it? Step 31, where you're fitting the stand, because we're going to start fitting bodywork now, and I really don't want to be putting it down and laying on its side on these handlebars and everything. So I fitted the side stand just so that we can stand the bike up and not have to worry about breaking things off. And these bloody rear foot pegs are a complete and utter pain. So there we go. I'll probably glue those up like that actually. But anyway, another little tip for you if you do want to make them still workable but have them stay up is put a little drop of white glue in there and let it dry, and it'll act like a sort of, like a cushion if you like, and it'll sort of wedge it in a bit tighter. So I'm going to move along now. As I said, I'm going to get these bits off and then we're going to build up this assembly here, and then we'll get on with the side fairing. I'm not sure. Front light parts assembly, okay. So there we go. Right, back in a sec. Right, so got all the parts off. So we've got D22 here, which is the headlamp backing. We've got these two pieces here, P12 and R3 are going together, and P11 and R4 are going to go together to make up the headlights. Now these two pieces, P11 and P12, are loose in the tray in the top of the box. So you're going to have to be able to identify which is which. So we can clearly see this one here, you've got like a flat area, and then we've got a coming across the top, and then it steps back and down. So this one is clearly P12, so that's that side and that one's that side. With these, it's clear to see that this one is R3 and this one is R4. We can see the way it goes on the outside edge up there. I'm just going to take a bit more of that sprue gate away. Alright, so which way around is this going to go? That's going to go like that with those, I'm assuming they're going to be the bulbs. Okay, they're going to be like the xenon bulbs that are in there. Dottie's just started growling, I don't know why. And okay, and then this is going to go this is actually incorrect. That is that one. Sorry, you're on screen. That one is that one, and that one is that one. Because you can see this one here, I've just assembled it, and that is that one. So they've made a boo-boo there. Right, and then this is going to sit I've got it upside down, that's why it won't fit. I was just questioning my my sanity then. Right, so looking at there, and that's going to go in there. Okay, so they're all pushing down into those holes nice and snugly. Give them a firm shove, make sure they're fully home. There we go. And then we've got R2 and R1, and it will become clear which is which. We could see this one is R2, so that's going to go on that side. Got small holes and small pins for them to go into, so that's all gone fully home like that. And then this one here is going to pop into there, just like that. And then these headlight pieces are going to fit. So this one is clearly P9. So they've got a couple of pins in the top and a tab in the bottom. Need to be really careful with this stuff because it's brittle. As you can see, that pin has just snapped off on me, but luckily it's staying in there. Clear plastic, 9 times out of 10 in kits, is very brittle, so be very careful with it. There we go. So there's our lights in there. Just going to trim a bit of that sprue gate away there because that might affect the fit of the next part. Okay, so there's our headlights all done. Okay, so moving along, we've built the headlight unit up, so we've got this little side panel going on now. So we'll turn the bike around. So much better having it on a stand. We've got a little D screw. So basically this is going, how on earth is this going? It's going in, it's going in behind. Where are these tubes going? These tubes are going behind it as well. That tube there is for the clutch. We may as well connect it because, although it might get in the way of something else, but we can always take it off again, can't we? But that is for the clutch, so we may as well just put that on there now. If we have to take it off, we do, but you can see now we've got that on there. Okay, now this tube here, I'm not sure where that one's going to go, but it does say, if you remember further back in the manual, it says it has to go up, so that's going to go up there. And that one there's got to go down, so that's fine. So we're going to get this in position. How on earth is this going? Like that? Have I even got the right part? Is it that way around? Yes, I've got the wrong way around. That's where I'm going wrong. So that's going to go in there, and those hoses are going to stay behind it. So that's coming in like that, and then we've got a screw. And we've got a screw to hold it in place. Oh no. There, like that. So you can see that's in place. Tubes and everything are behind it. So there we go. Right. So that's that bit done. Coming over the page, we've got our front light parts. Okay, so that's our front light parts. So they are going to go, so that that lump there is going into the back of there, and then we've got two little raised pegs on here that are going to clip on around the frame. Okay, we need to do it in the right orientation. Oh no, the lens has fallen out. Oh dear, dear, dear. Right. Well, I think of it, guys, if you do want to glue your lenses in, don't use super glue, mind, because it will make them go cloudy. What's going on here? This just doesn't fit. I'm doing something wrong, it's not the kit. So that's going over there. That's going over there. And then I'm trying to force this pin onto the side of the frame, and then this side's going to come round and come up. There we go. It has to go up and under the frame. That's the difficult part. So you've got that lug in there, and then you've got those two pins in there. I'm just going to pop that lens back in. I'm hoping that the fairing will hold these lights in. We shall see. And then, here we go. Just what I was talking about. This piece here is going to go over the lights like so. So that's going to come up into that hole there. You heard that snap in. And then this side will have the same. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to do J1, D55 and a screw D. Okay, so this panel here is going to go onto here. So it's got that pin that's going to go in the back of the headlight. There's that little pin at the bottom of the headlight. And then we've got a screw going in. We've got a screw going into that top hole. So that's got to fit all the way over that lug. Right, okay. It's a shame we couldn't do this before we fit those handlebars. And then this has got to go, something's stopping it. It doesn't want to slide over the radiator, that's what it is. Okay, and then that screw is going to go in. Oh dear, dear, dear. I've got the shakes again. I'm hungry, that's what it is. I'm really hungry. In fact, I'm going to call it a day after this bit, I think. Right, so we get that into there. There we go. So that's gone in like that. So we've got the pin clipped in on the bottom there. We've got the pin up there on the headlights. So that's holding all the headlight assembly in, and then we've got this piece here, D55, and that is going to go onto those two pins there on J1. Okay, that's an ignition module or something. There we go. So it started to look like a motorbike at last, and as I say, I've skipped ahead to this section here. In fact, before I go, we'll do this section here, and then that's that page complete. Alright, I got these bits off. Now this piece here, Q2, this is the white water tank, and for some reason, as you can see on here, they've painted white on black plastic. I don't know why they didn't just mould it in white, but I wanted to paint the cap black, so all I've done is got a bit of masking tape, slot it in there, easier said than done. Oh come on, slot it in there like that, it won't go down. And then you go in with your marker then, and then just take the tape off afterwards when it's done. That would not go down when I wanted it to go. That's the problem with having the camera on. Okay, so this one here, Q2, this is going to go onto the frame. Where's the other hole then? So we've got one hole there, and the other one is on the inside of the frame. So if we line that hole there up, I'm literally just going to sit. Hey? Oh, these instructions are as clear as mud in places, honestly. Where on earth is that going? It's showing that going into a little recess in the frame, which just simply isn't there. Okay, there's a hole, there's a pin on that pipe, so that's going to go into there in the frame. That pin's going into a hole in the bottom of the tank, which doesn't necessarily fit. Yes, it does. I've tried to put it in the wrong place. There we go. So that's going like that. So that's literally just sitting like that in fresh air. It's not going anywhere. But here it looks like it's in a little triangular lug shape, which isn't there. Let's have missed a part out or something, or it's something that we haven't put in yet. I really don't know. In fact, when we look here, there's definitely something there. Oh, very strange. Okay, can't trust drawings anyway. Right, so moving along, we've got this piece here, D11. This is our sprocket cover. So that's going to go, there's two pins on there. It's quite obvious where they go. So you've got two pins going on to two holes. Do 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 do. There we are. That's gone on like that. And then that one is going into there like so, he says. Those holes look as though they're flashed over, so what I'm going to do is just get my knife and just go in and just scrape out. Yes, they are, they're flashed over. It's just a bit of the injection moulding process. The plastic has flashed over the hole, so just scrape out that flash and then it will fit. And we'll get our little wooden tool and push them in snugly like that. There we go. So there's our rider foot pegs and pillion foot pegs all in place, and that bugger won't stay up. Okay, so there we go, and then that's it. Let's stand your moto up. There we go. There we are, and it's looking good, isn't it? As I say, if you are a scale modeler, you will be building this with paint and everything, and you'll be getting a lovely, beautiful result. You'll be filling seams, getting rid of ejector pin marks, getting rid of mold seams and everything. I'm building this out of the box to see how it goes together. You know from my channel I don't normally build models like this, but I just wanted to see how this goes together if you build it from the box. As I've said on every video, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that own one of these or want to build one because they want to build a model of their bike. So that's why I'm doing it out of the box, just so that you guys can follow along, because if you're not a scale modeler, then there's a few bits and pieces that will probably catch you out. There we go. Right, so I'll see you all soon for part 5, and I think part 5 will probably be the final part, because there's not much else to do. It's just bodywork now. So I'll see you for part 5, the finale. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.